This is another game from the FIDE World Swiss 2025, played in Samarkand, and this game is going to be very amazing because here with the white pieces we have Vidit Gujrathi, and with the black pieces we have Alexander Donchenko. And if you don't know, Vidit actually won the last FIDE Swiss, so he's actually the defending champion here. So definitely, I mean, no one was expecting Vidit to actually win the entire thing, but he won the thing. He went to Candace, he crushed Hikaru Nakamura. So yeah, it was absolutely amazing for him to actually being able to win this. And I mean, no one is expecting him to do it again, but let's see what's gonna happen. You never know. Here with the white pieces, he starts with e4. We have c5, knight to f3, e6, and d4. We go into the Sicilian defense. This is the French variation. C captures, knight captures, and just knight to f6. We have knight to c3, knight to c6, queen to d3, and just d5. This we transpose into the four knights variation of the Sicilian. We have e captures, knight to b3 first, attacking the queen. Queen moves to g3 now, and just bishop to c5. So definitely something that is not that uncommon here. And we have a3, just pushing the knight back. Knight captures on d5, knight captures, queen captures, and just knight to b5. So looking very scary here with the king being out in the open for both the players. But yeah, it's absolutely fine. All of this has been played before. It just castles, knight to c3, queen to d6, and bishop to d3. And if you're thinking about trading the queens early on, I think that would be a mistake, because if you go for this edge captures, you can already see that you have an open rook file. You're just going to develop the bishop, and maybe just castle queen side. The game is going to be absolutely amazing for you. And yeah, somewhere along the line, you're going to push those pawns as well. I mean, you don't want to give your opponent too much. Here after bishop to d3, h6 was played by Donchenko, and we have bishop to f4 now, just attacking that queen. We have e5 now, pushing the bishop back, bishop to e3, and just bishop to d7. Trading doesn't help, it leads to a draw. And now finally Vidit goes for castling queenside. He castles, and now it's just comes with an attack towards the queen. Also the threat is this, so basically you're just going to pick up the queen. But now here just bishop caps on e3 with the check, queen captures, and queen to c7. You don't want to fall for such tricks, it's going to be absolutely embarrassing. And here after knight d4, we have knight to d5, attacking the queen once again, queen to c5, queen to c6. Both players are not into trading queens, because now once you trade, it's going to be actually you can give other player just the advantage in the position. That's not something you want to do. So here rook h2 e1 was played by Vidit, b6, queen to d6. Now I mean, this is just crazy here. If you trade, actually it's just the knight gets into the position. That knight's going to be a very annoying piece. You don't want that. And the best move is here is rook a to d8, and after queen captures, you play bishop captures and g3, thinking that maybe you have something in this position, but really not, because after queen captures is not the move you want to play. But again, with the bishop getting out of the way, queen getting out of the way, it could get something troublesome, and the rook basically is there for that, the case that knight cannot jump inside the position and cause trouble. So here you have to be careful about that as well. That's why g3, so that knight cannot jump in. But here after queen to d6, we have f5. But f5 unfortunately is not a good move in this position now, because queen captures on c6 is played, but after bishop captures, we have knight to d6. And you must be wondering, what is this issue with the knight? I mean, it's inside the position, that's for sure, but I can kick it with just by playing the rook move. Well, you can, but not really, because here if you go for rook a to d8, just knight caps on f5, and I've just won a clean pawn. Next, this is gonna fall, and yeah, your position is just much worse. You have to play rook d to e8, but after knight to d6, you can understand how annoying this is. So yeah, you cannot do that. I mean, and even if you tried this, I mean, this comes in, it's just too annoying. You don't want to face all of this. So here after knight to d6, here knight to f4 was played, just attacking the bishop, but we have just rook caps on e5, so I've just won a clean pawn. Are you maybe interested in the bishop, or maybe interested in the pawn? So here bishop caps on g2 was played by Donchenko, but knight caps on f5, and I've just won another pawn. And here now just king to h8, a nice prophylactic move, always useful. Rook to d2, and just rook to f6. This rook to f6 move just is not a good move in this position. You can see the bar shooting up. It's because your position is not that good, and doubling up on the f file is not something you want to pursue, because here just bishop to c4, and you can understand the pieces are very nice. The rook is opened up. I can just get the rook into the game. The position would be absolutely spectacular for me if I can double up towards the 7th rank. And yeah, it's not something you would want to have here. The position here, rook 8 to f8 was played just as planned, but now just comes knight to d6. And knight to d6, not that amazing of a move, but here with a move like knight to g6, you can actually try and save this game, because here after this, rook has to move, and after rook caps on f2, if you're thinking about why not just grab a pawn, well, I lost a pawn, why not just take it back? But here after rook captures, and rook to e8, the position just crumbles for you. And now if you play a move like rook to f8, the problem is rook captures and knight captures, but knight to c8 is going to win me another pawn. And here we have 3-1, and it's going to be very much difficult to defend. I mean, very difficult to defend, even with these knights and the bishop already eyeing this. It's not a good position to have, honestly. And with it, You know how he does in these positions. He had these positions in the Olympiad so many times and he was able to convert them to a win. So he does love these positions and he's going to convert them very, very easily. But here after knight to d6, bishop to c6 was played, and unfortunately, it just makes your position much much worse. I told you, knight to g6 was the only move. Here you cannot play anything else. Rook to e7 was now played by Vidit, but now just comes this rook to g6, and we have b3. b3 is a slow move in this position. The problem with b3 is that b4 is just completely winning outright, and the engine valuation says that I'm up a piece. Yeah, that's how good this is, because now once b5 comes, you play knight captures, bishop captures, bishop captures. If you go for this trade, you just completely lost, because knight to h3 trying to win this pawn, but I'll happily give it away. Just c4, rook captures, knight captures, c5. I mean, what are you going to do? How are you ever going to stop with 3-1? I mean, towards the queen side, you cannot win this. You cannot even try and hope for anything in this position. And even if you don't trade, I mean, you are playing b5 with the idea of maybe not allowing b5, but you just lost a pawn basically for absolutely nothing. And b5 is coming next. And not only that, I'm just going to push c4. And with all the pieces on the board still there, with 3-2 advantage towards the queen side, and it's just not going to be that easy. You're going to lose the pawns. I'm going to push the pawns. And yeah, that's why engine evaluation says 3.1, because yeah, it's basically like I'm up a piece. But hereafter, rook to g6, b3 was played by Vidit, which is a bit of a slow move, but still fine by engine. Engine doesn't mind here. I mean, waiting a few more moves to win the game. Here just a6, but now just comes knight to s7 check, king to h7, knight to e5, and rook to g1 check. So does it change the order of the position a little bit? Not really, because just, I mean, first of all, your piece is hanging, but first you need to move the king. So now it comes king to b2, but just b5 now finally going for it, but just bishop to f7. And in this position, how do you even approach this position? Rook to e1 was played, trying to just pin the 9, but now just comes this rook to d6 attacking the bishop, and the bishop needs to move. Bishop to e4 was tried. Now, I mean, there is no pin, so here knight to d7 was played, and now your bishop is pinned instead. So I mean, it's just a very bad position to have. Here knight to d3 check was tried. I don't know for what reason he played knight to d3 check. This is, I mean, this is just a hopeless attempt maybe, but just he captures. And yeah, it was on this move, on just move 37, that Alexander Donchenko resigned the game, and Vidit Gujrathi got this spectacular victory in just 37 moves, grinding a position from a point where, you know, it was looking so much equal. I mean, this position looked so equal, but surely in a few more moves, you can see that once with the inclusion of just getting the knight into the game, he grinded it out to perfection, and from here he was able to win this game. You can see how amazing this was, because it's just how they play. These grandmasters, they are absolutely amazing grinders, and you can see, I mean, this game is just a prime example of that, because from here he was able to get a very nice position, and he converted that to a very nasty win. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming back with games like these, so stay tuned to the channel, stay updated, and yeah, I'll be seeing you guys very soon. Well, thank you all for watching.